The sectors that you choose are drastically different from the next sector that you went into.
So to be very honest, I would like to give a more intelligent answer than what the truth is. But
आपने real estate में भी startup किए and do you feel that there is something missing?
yeah, I think at times I can write a book on that.
I think you were focusing on right set of things, but there were certain startups who were then building around कि बच्चों को coding आनी चाहिए, आपको code सिखाना चाहिए, such as White Hat Junior.
My view around White Hat Junior market is different. I think they were, although logically speaking, they were EdTech and so were we.
So you feel कि थोड़ा सा कोई mentor या advisor is necessary when you are going for your first fundraise, क्योंकि नहीं तो फिर दिक्कत हो ही जाएगी या कहीं ना कहीं. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of GrowthCast. Today I have with me Anshul Gupta, who is a 3X founder and currently runs Bharat Founder School. He is a DC and ISB alum, and at the same time, right now he is helping founders raise fund and build bigger and better startups. In this episode, we'll sit with him, understand what's the process behind building a startup. We'll also understand from him that what it feels like to sell your startup, और भी काफी startup related nuances है जो हम discuss करेंगे. Stay till the end and you'll get nuggets of wisdom that you'll not get anywhere else. Hi Anshul, welcome to GrowthCast podcast and thanks so much for taking out time. I would like to understand from you your career journey and how everything started from you right from your college days.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. I graduated in a very interesting year, which was 2009. This was the time when a lot of the world was kind of falling apart because of the financial crisis. I was coming out of my B school at that time. Did that, that whole process actually accelerated my journey into the startup ecosystem. I worked with one startup at that time, immediately after my MBA. And then started my journey as a founder. So 2010 is when I started my first startup. This was into B2B rewards recognition platforms. We were effectively helping large ITES companies take care of their employees and sales teams incentives, non-cash incentives.
Right.
And that was a space we were building on. 4 years we built, and then we got a reasonable acquisition offer. So we decided to take that. Then I joined another couple of founders who were building things in real estate tech. So this was a company which was called BroX. Then eventually we named it Fast Fox, which was into residential renting. We raised around $5 million then. And say 5 years from the date of inception, we got acquired. This time, Prop Tiger acquired the whole business. So everybody lock, stock, barrel. We reached Prop Tiger. A few months down the line, I realized I probably need to get back to founding, and that's when I founded YellowClass and raised again reasonable amount of capital. $10 million with funds like Elevation Capital, India Quotient, Titan Capital, Good Capital, bunch of other guys,
Right.
And built for the kids extracurricular space. Built it. We saw a massive boom around it during COVID times. Unfortunately, things that go up also face a lot of downward pressures. So did we. So post-COVID, that whole space that we fell out of PMF. We started building in a different segment altogether. Was not fully aligned to where we were going at a very personal level, and that is the point when I decided that I would want to exit. The company still exists and continues to do well. My co-founder, continues to lead that. And now I'm building Bharat Founder Schools, where we help founders understand their founding journeys at an early stage.
Got it. You started in 2010, आपकी entrepreneurship journey. That time, startup was not a fancy term. So, ये leap of faith कैसे लिया and how you made your parents understand कि this is something that I'm planning to do.
Yeah, that is so true, right? So, startup is so sexy now, right? At least for a very large population, that people are okay, parents are okay. That time, startup, saying for somebody who's coming from a service class background, which I did,
right?
Saying I want to do startups was, much closer to saying कि मुझे बॉम्बे जाना है, हीरो बनना है.
Right.
Right. So it was more radical, far more radical that time. My parents were quite supportive, to be honest. Right. So they said, you do what you think is the right thing to do, and then one thing led to other, and had a fantastic journey.
And the sectors that you choose are drastically different from the next sector that you went into. So वो mental model क्या था, या how you pick and choose कि अब इस वाली category को explore करते हैं?
So to be very honest, I would like to give a more intelligent answer than what the truth is. Right? But the fact is, you get excited about certain type of opportunities, certain type of sectors at the time. You learn from your old sectors, right, or old experiences. But it was far more organic and random than a very thought through kind of a thought process.
Got it. And आपने real estate में भी startup किए, and do you feel that there is something missing because of which we are not seeing a, say, unicorn or a decacron coming from this particular sector? What's the issue there?
So yeah, I think at times I can write a book on that. No, but you're right. Real estate is very tough. If you think of one mega sector where technology businesses have had very little impact,
right,
I would call real estate as that space, right? So even the biggest player within real estate are kind of figuring out what to do, right? Now, no real innovation has happened since late 2000s.
सब अभी एग्रीगेटर ही बने हुए हैं.
हाँ, so आज की डेट में भी 91 acres के बाद क्या innovation हुई है in particular within real estate, I don't know.
Right.
One big reason for real estate based sales not taking over is the fact that the transaction happens offline.
Right.
Right, and it's a nuance, right? So a lot of people will say, that is true for e-commerce where the delivery happens offline. So that is not the point. The sale actually happens offline, right? And which is where the ecosystem, that space has not been able to move beyond classifieds even today. Right. So अगर आप किसी भी सेक्टर का evolution देखेंगे तो शुरू में classifieds आते हैं, some internet 1.0, 2.0 वाले type धंधे आते हैं. उसके बाद and people get into sales, transactions, deeper solutions. With real estate, that depth has never been able to was never achieved because that transaction is happening offline, and the transaction typically is so important, right? Definitely in sale purchase, even in rental,
right,
that people don't want to do it online as well, right? So think about it. It's not like you're sitting in your washroom and ordering
flat
a house. You can order a mobile phone. You can even order iPhone, right? But you will not order or say rent a house looking at the photographs, even if you do all that 3D jazz and this and that. Nothing really has, technology hasn't been able to make that kind of a dent that it has in other spaces.
So is the problem adoption level at the consumer level, or real estate broker level pe they don't want to maybe intervene technology in the way that they operate?
No, I don't think it's driven by, say, the players, or say the players are at fault. It's just the system. Right. The market is so structured where the sales is happening offline. Right. This is, for that matter, this is somewhat true in some of the other sectors as well. But say, for example, hiring. Right. Hiring also typically used to happen offline.
Right.
Till Zoom came into being, and a lot of that has also moved online, where people can interact, transact, and then say, okay, we are happy to go ahead with this. In terms of real estate, right, you don't believe photographs that you see on your phone, true. Right? Whether it's on the website, whether it's shared with you, right? Somebody might give you a video tour of this, but the transaction is so expensive. It's such a big part of your overall net worth, right? In case of sales, or even for an amount of your annual wallet share. If you are renting a house, that you would not want to do it online. You want that deep, indulgent, very sure kind of an experience before you take a call.
And do you feel in future this can be solved with, say, more technology intervention? Yeah, this is a sector that we'll see ki isi tarah se hi rahega, maybe 5-10 years down the line also.
I don't know. Never say never. right? Especially never bet against technology.
Right.
But at a broader level, I believe there will be big real estate tech, businesses which can be built, but they will not be built around transaction or sales. They will be built more around financing.
Got it.
Structure, so for example, businesses which are doing part ownership, right, which is kind of SME REITs kind of a businesses, they are doing fine, right? So you will see real estate technology businesses, but they will not be around transactions or sales.
Got it. I'll shift gear. I'll come to your days at YellowClass. What was the idea behind starting this? And initial, I want you to walk us through 0 to 1 journey कि आपने जब start किया था, and what was business like when it was at peak during the COVID period?
Sure. So YellowClass was built at a time which was very different. We all lived through that, which was COVID, right? And what COVID really did was change some of the fundamental variables that people were living with, right? For example, suddenly everybody was forced to absorb and consume things online, right? So you saw that happen everywhere, right? Across segments, across sectors, and of course in education, right? So what really happened and what we noticed, right, both me and my co-founder, and we we had young kids at that time. They are still relatively young, but what we saw that suddenly everything was coming online. So these teachers who were initially just teaching locally suddenly had no limits to their audience. Right. So you could now be taking up classes for kids sitting in Singapore or even California, right? And it just changes the the framework at a fundamental level, and which is exactly what happened. Now, add to that the fact that kids were at home; they were not able to go to school, and suddenly you see a customer who is in a lot of pain, and I mean the parent, right, who wants to get their kids engaged,
channelize their energy,
and don't want them to be on YouTube. अब कितना YouTube देखोगे, कितने video game खेलोगे, कितना TV देखोगे? So they wanted them to channelize their energies onto positive stuff. Right. And that is where YellowClass offered a whole lot of different things, which were like around dance, art, GK, chess, whole long tail of very productive, positive engagement, which the kids liked and the parents liked as well. And which is the reason, and given that there was so much time in hand, we saw massive amount of adoption for YellowClass, during COVID times itself.
I think you were focusing on right set of things, but there were certain startups who were then building around कि बच्चों को coding आनी चाहिए, आपको code सिखाना चाहिए, such as White Hat Junior. And I think that was one reason that they failed. Is there any specific reason that you feel that particular segment never picked up? क्योंकि हम academically काफी focused हैं Indians और वो उसी को target कर रहे थे पूरे time.
See, my view around White Hat Junior market is different. I think they were, although logically speaking, they were EdTech and so were we, but the fundamental notion is that they were catering to a very different kind of customer need. Right. What White Hat Junior was doing was playing on the parents' insecurity or the parental guilt. Right. Now, anybody who's a parent will understand this instantly, right? Once you are a parent, you are always questioning, am I a good parent? Am I doing enough for my kid? वो देखो पड़ोस का बच्चा ये कर रहा है, मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, यानी मैं अपने बच्चे के लिए नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Right. And you are always in that kind of a guilt loop, especially the mothers. Right. And what White Hat Junior did, and for that matter, I believe what Byju's did as well, at a very fundamental level, was to play on that parental guilt. Right. And the whole idea was, can you cultivate on that? Can you demonstrate your solution as the solution for that guilt? And which is where it did very well for a while, and then we know what happened, right? But that's a story that has happened with a lot of businesses. So I would not want to kind of particularly target and diss them, but I think that was the problem, where you can push this to a certain level, and
after that
it
becomes difficult.
Everybody understands what's happening.
But what is your ideal definition of a edtech? कि एक edtech platform होना क्या चाहिए? Basic fundamentals जो fulfill अगर कोई करता है, then they can call themselves a edtech.
See, I don't think edtech is a very, very, very large category. It's almost as large as, say, commerce or fintech.
Can you please break it down for the people who are watching it? क्योंकि अभी लोगों को बहुत ही vague notion रहता है edtech का कि क्या-क्या होती है different categories.
देखिए, edtech में बहुत categories हो सकती हैं. For example, let's split it, right? Let's split it by age.
Okay.
Right? EdTech could be for toddlers. EdTech could be for kids. EdTech could be for teens. EdTech could be for early job seekers. And EdTech could be working professionals in their 30s, 40s, executive level.
Got
right? It. So it's starting from end to end, and you could have EdTech for seniors. I haven't seen anything, but let's assume it's bulk of it stops there.
Right.
Now, from a customer segment, all of them are very different customers.
Got it.
Right? What is the similarity in the needs of a toddler and a working professional who is, say, 35 years old?
Nothing difference है, हाँ.
Right? कोई similarity है ही नहीं. Right? Now, within that also, you pick people with different, say, maybe economic strata or need level, right? So there would be a lot of people in their 30s who want to understand data science.
Right.
There are people who want to understand speak in English, right? Because वो कह रहे professionally मेरे को promotion नहीं मिल रहा है, मेरे को client side पे नहीं भेज रहे हैं, क्योंकि मेरा communication skill अच्छा नहीं है. So what do I need to do? I need to speak English. Right. So is that a segment? Yes. For that matter, language is a segment across multiple categories, right? So it could be for kids, it could be for teens, it could be for early professionals, it could be for late professionals, right? So अगर आप slice and dice करेंगे तो each one of them, right, different solutions for different categories. Each one of them is an individual edtech category.
Right.
Now, edtech है या education है, I would not want to get too much into it. I think it is very product focused. You should always be customer focused.
Right.
आप कह रहे हो customer की ये need है, right? Whether that needs gets fulfilled online or offline or hybrid, right? That is a business problem,
right?
Which the business should be able to solve. Right. But at a broader level, from a sectoral point of view, you talk about the customer and their need.
Got. नहीं, अभी आपसे बात करके फिर मेरे को लग रहा है कि कई लोग जो फेल किए वो इसलिए कर गए क्योंकि वो अक्रॉस दी स्पेक्ट्रम सॉल्व करने लगे थे कि हमें बच्चों के भी सॉल्यूशन है, बड़ों के भी है. अगर आप स्पेशली जो आपने बोला कस्टमर फोकस्ड रहते और एक ही डायरेक्शन में चलते तो माइट बी पॉसिबल कि दे वुड हैव बिल्ड अ बिग सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस.
देखो, ये भी एक अंधा कुआं है. ये डिस्कशन आप जिस पे लेके जा रहे हो, राइट, कि what has been some of the challenges of edtech, right? Let me give you a very different narrative here. Okay. I think this is the best time for edtech. For that matter, edtechs are doing fantastically well.
Right.
It's only the venture-funded edtechs which are not doing well. Think about it, right? You have all the influencers. आप YouTube पे जाते हैं, अगर आपके पास premium नहीं है, तो everybody is trying to sell you a course.
Right. हाँ, सही है.
Is their business booming?
I don't think कि उतना ज़्यादा.
Potentially, some of them are doing well. That is why there are so many people who are doing it. सारे influencers हैं, वो आपको personal finance सिखाना चाहते हैं. They want to teach you how to do Facebook, how to do LinkedIn, how to
Instagram ads,
do Instagram, or how to do all of that. Aren't they edtechs?
They are. Technically, they are edtechs because.
Are they doing well?
Some of them are really they are doing
right. Well. It's just that the venture world focused edtech is not doing that well.
Right.
If you just remove the Byju's and the other players who are struggling, maybe an academy or whoever it is, if you remove them, everybody else is fine. Right?
Right.
And edtech as a need, education as a need is strong. The need for education and the awareness that you need education is as high as it has ever been.
Right.
Right. So why would this sector not do well? Right. But if you were to ask me at a personal level, my belief is education does not need a lot of venture money.
हाँ, अगर आप जैसे पहले हम लोग देखते फिटजी, ब्रिलियंट ट्यूटोरियल्स, ये सारे थे, they were doing really well. अब तो we don't hear much about them, but they are also grown to a decent.
Some of them have done very well, right? The kinds of Ellens and they are all old school, players who have done well. Akash as well. Right?
I remember Bansal classes back from my days. They were also doing.
So the question is, are they doing well? Yes. Is there scope for innovation? Yes.
Yes.
But at a fundamental level, education is a space where you should be able to charge what you are spending.
Right.
It's one. Okay, rule number one, most edtech is not repeat use case. Right? At the peak of the edtech boom, VCs, for whatever reason, started believing that every education segment will be dominated by two players, Byju's and Unacademy. Right? And
duopoly bani rahegi.
It's like कि नहीं तो आप अच्छा कर रहे हो, but we believe that these guys will win this market. Right? I said, why would they win this? They'll have customer loyalty. Said, are you really telling me that if I go to Baiju kindergarten, then I'll go to Baiju school, and then I'll go to Baiju college, and then I'll do Baiju, upskilling?
Relative to hai nahi mera ki main pura ho.
Like, that's not how it works, right? Let me ask you, let me press this a little further, right? Just because I am selling underwear banyan of VIP, does that mean you will buy tuxedo of VIP?
No, obviously.
So why would you, if you are buying somebody's kindergarten, why would you buy?
And in fact, people like diversification कि मैंने अलग-अलग चीजें.
वो नहीं काम करता है, but it's fine, right? So for a while, VCs got themselves to believe that everything in edtech will be owned by them.
Either they saw that.
Either they saw that, which is okay. For a while, everybody was fooled, right? But from a broader level, I think the need for education is there. The accessibility on internet is high.
Right.
There are nuances to different type of programs, courses, what you can charge, what you cannot charge, and things are settling down, and they will build. My own view is edtech will not have mega unicorns
going forward. जो हो गया past is.
नहीं, जो वो तो अब वापस अब नीचे आ चुके हैं, right? So मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो होने वाला है. Because education is not built that way. So here's again a piece that I talk about when I talk about education. Oxford is a 1,000-year-old brand.
Right.
Tell me another brand which is 1,000-year-old in any category.
Can't think of. Nalanda University, they keep on talking, but wo to abhi revived.
Non-education.
No, most of them came in last 200, 250 years.
The oldest surviving bank is around 350 years old.
Right.
It's not a big bank.
Right.
It's I think somewhere in Spain or some part of Europe. So here's the thing. Education is a very, very sticky business. It's a very brand-oriented business.
Right.
But I'll take you to the other side of the spectrum. How many education companies are in Fortune 500?
Might be 3, 4 at
0.
Just Coursera or ESR?
0.
Okay.
Right? They are not even close. Not even close.
Because of revenue or nahi?
So education businesses do not become mega businesses.
They are sustainable businesses.
They are good sustainable businesses. They are very powerful businesses. So if you are a dean of Harvard, you're a very powerful guy.
Right.
You'll have access to the president of the United States.
Right.
And you will have a lot of, the endowment fund that takes care of a lot of things and things like that. But would you make a lot of revenue from a very traditional point of view? The answer is no. So you don't make a lot of revenue, right? But it's a very powerful position.
But tell me one thing, Anshul. So VCs, I understand that they are very learned folks coming from great institutions. तो ये चीजें पहले anticipate नहीं हो पाती क्या कि maybe this is one category जहाँ पे इतने extreme bullishness की जरूरत
नहीं. To be fair to them, right? Who could have anticipated Facebook? That I could have given a very similar kind of argument around Facebook back in 2005.
Right.
Like यार ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है, ठीक है, कोई इसमें नहीं होता है, वैसे नहीं होता है. But people, you have to bet against what the world is saying. Right. There are no clear algos. So as much as I'm saying it with a lot of swag right now, somebody might prove me wrong.
Right.
So you have to be ready for that. And the idea of venture capital is to bet on
the odds,
on unconventional wisdom.
Right.
So people are betting on it. They saw things moving and they bet on it. Right. It's easy for anybody, including us, to go and say, yeah, what fools. Right. But the fact is they were taking a bet, and it was an honest bet. And some bets work, others don't.
Got it. I think with that, I'll shift to next segment, which is more on starting up and your journey currently at Bharat Founder School. So what are some of the things that somebody who is starting up for the first time they should have in mind कि ये journey आगे कैसे रहेगी? For them, say I am working in a job, if I start today, what will be the journey like in 1, 2, 3 year कि मेरे को पहले से पता हो कि इस तरह के ही चीजें या challenges आ सकते हैं before I take this leap of faith?
See, the first thing that I would want anybody who is considering this to think about is that it's a lifestyle question.
Right.
You're not taking a career decision, you are taking a lifestyle decision. Right? It's like I want to become a monk. Right? So आपने कहा monk is not a career choice.
It's a
lifestyle choice. Right? हमने कहा कि मैं तो सब कुछ दुनिया छोड़ छाड़ के मैं monk बन गया. ठीक है? उसी तरीके से being a founder is a lifestyle choice. Right? Where you say कि यार अब मैं नौकरी या सैलरी के लिए काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, मेरे को नहीं है कि मैं सीनियर मैनेजर हूँ, उसके बाद एवीपी बनूंगा, फिर वीपी बनूंगा, ये बनूंगा, वो नहीं है. मेरा वो ट्रैक छोड़ दिया है. अब मैं अपना खुद का कुछ क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ, कुछ उससे बनेगा, कुछ से बिल्ड करूंगा, एंड आई विल डू इट, एंड इट विल टेक वट एवर अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम इट विल टेक.
Right.
आई एम ऑन दैट जर्नी, एंड दैट जर्नी विल बी वेरी 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 डिफरेंट. You know, the whole predictability of a career will not be there. So what kind of journey are we talking about, right? Two friends might start, one might be struggling for 10 years, 5-10 years, the other might just hit gold mine on 6 months. Right, because that sector became very, very hot, and you know, there is all kind of tailwinds, and there is investor interest, there is customer interest, everything is there. He meets interesting people. Maybe he meets the big shot unicorn founder who says, okay, I take you under my wings. Right? Things work out. Who knows?
Right.
All different type of, permutation combinations are possible, and you just have to take whatever comes your way.
And when we talk about raising fund for a first time founder, what are certain mistakes that you see people make on a frequent basis जो उन्हें थोड़ा सा avoid करनी चाहिए, या maybe किसी से advice लेके they should go with that?
Whole lot. That's a maybe an episode in itself. But whole lot of mistakes, right? I have made it. All of my friends, people that I know, have made this, right? These are mistakes that you make, right? Things like not really understanding how to deal with investors,
Right.
how to build your narrative, how to essentially understand what are the variables to be looked into. Most people would typically think, right, deck बनाते हैं, investor के पास चलते हैं, देखते हैं कुछ होता है,
पैसे आ जाएंगे,
ये हो जाएगा, तो आप रात में बैठ के दग deck बनाते हो और निकल जाते हो रास्ते पे. Right? That's such a it's more like कि यार अगर इतना important decision लिया है तुमने अपना career line पे लगा के, you have taken this call of doing a startup and you are putting so many things at stake, you might as well do a good job at packaging your business right. Right? एक अच्छी बिल्कुल महंगी सी ज्वेलरी खरीद के उसको ना लिफाफे में डाल के ऐसे पकड़ा दोगे तो कौन खरीदेगा?
हाँ, right.
So you have to do all of that, and you have to do a lot of that. Also is a process that helps you think through your business.
So you feel कि थोड़ा सा कोई mentor या advisor is necessary when you are going for your first fundraise, क्योंकि नहीं तो फिर दिक्कत हो ही जाएगी, या कहीं ना कहीं तो फिर.
यार मैंने एक जगह बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज देखी. देखो, I don't know any big guy or successful person who does not have a mentor.
So mentorship is important.
But mentorship के बारे में एक और thought process है. You don't take a mentor or you don't get a mentor because you need something.
Right.
You take a mentor because you are relevant.
Right.
So there was, I think I was seeing this somewhere on YouTube. It said, does Virat Kohli have a coach? Right? Yeah. So does a kids playing on street, right, randomly, or you and I, do we have a coach? The answer is no.
No.
Who needs the coach? Right? So technically speaking, we need the coach more than he does.
Right.
Right? But he has a coach because he's relevant.
He's relevant, and I think also helps him build the consistency or rigor.
Whole lot of stuff, right? So do you need mentor? Yes, everybody needs mentor. I need a mentor. Right. Every founder needs a mentor. Right. I'm pretty sure even Elon Musk has mentors. Right. It's not like I am not the richest person. Now I don't need anybody.
Maybe Trump in his case.
Okay. Let's not go there. but who knows, right? But
Right.
everybody needs people who help you clear your mind, think through. And it is not because you are dumb and they are intelligent. No. वो नहीं है.
हाँ.
It is because they are in that position where they are not facing the same level of stresses and they are not part of the same grind that you are.
और zoom out भी थोड़ा कर सकते
वो
हैं.
zoom out कर पाते हैं, वो आपको वो perspective दे पाते हैं which you will not able to take at this moment considering your situation.
Right.
और your mindset.
Right.
अगर बहुत ज़्यादा fight हो रखी है या बहुत stress में है, बहुत pressure में है, and a critical question is put up to me, right? My ability to take decisions is down because of the kind of environment that I am in. मैं pressure cooker में बैठा हूँ तो मेरी ability to take that decision goes down. Now, do you need a mentor? Absolutely, right? Somebody who can help you perform better.
Got it. I'll move to last phase क्योंकि ये certain set of questions है जो first time founders हमेशा समझना चाहते हैं. So, is there any formula behind what is the salary that you can take home if you are raising round, or is completely depend on the investor who is coming onto the table?
See, बहुत non-standard answers हैं इसके. Number one, I think you need to take as much money as you need, but that need
not
again
desire.
So you cannot be taking money for luxuries, especially early on. While the business does not have the capability, how will you take money, right? But once the business has some money through investors, through whatever, you can take money, right? For that matter, my own personal view is that investors should be given reasonably good salaries. Right. Because that you shouldn't be required to optimize on that. Nothing good is coming out of that.
Right.
And quite frankly, my opinion is that a large VC ecosystem keeps thinking of squeezing the founder's personal income, and the logic is no, your outcomes must be linked to that of the investor, which is the valuation. Right. So don't expect salaries. Take valuations. Right. So as a founder, they are okay if you waste 5 crore rupees in the wrong bet, but they are very alarmed if you take 5 lakh rupees as of salary. Right. Or say you have 50 lakhs of salary. Right. That's stupid.
Because I think if founder is at peace कि मेरी बाकी चीजें केयर हो गई 24/7 तो वो वर्क कर ही रहा है.
वो कह रहा है यार मेरे बच्चे हैं, क्या मुझे उनको हॉलिडे पे लेके जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, आप कह रहे हो कि नहीं ठीक है भाई लास वेगस मत लेके जाओ, ठीक है वियतनाम तो लेके जाओ. मेरा पीयर ग्रुप है, वो एक तरीके से अपनी लाइफ स्पेंड कर रहा है. राइट. सो इफ I have kids, or say if somebody has a family, right? They should have the ability to stay at the right places, right? Spend at the right places, right? So all those need, take them to the right schools. अब आप उन चीजों पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज थोड़ी ना करोगे.
हाँ, और फिर वो एक अलग प्रेशर क्रिएट करता है.
वो अलग प्रेशर क्रिएट करता है, and it will reflect on the business. Right. So it's not helping anybody. Right. Definitely not helping the investors. Right. Right. So from that perspective, and I think founders have to be pretty candid about talking about these things with the investor, and stop treating the investor as your boss. Right. He's your investor. Partner, basically. He's your partner. Talk to them about this. There is no need to think of them like माई बाप आपने पैसा दिया हमको ये करने के लिए. नहीं, they are not giving you, it's not a dharmada. Right. ठीक है, they are not giving you in charity. Right. They want returns. You have all right intentions, do things very ethically. Right. But at the end of the day, you need to do what you need to do. You are the founder, you are the boss of the business. Right. So do that. Stay that position, keep that position. And a lot of founders these days, they also have the mindset like we were talking about before we started, ki selling off the business versus building a sustainable business that can be bootstrapped. Which of these two routes somebody who's just starting up should be thinking about? See, I'll be frank, I have been part of 2 meaningful acquisitions. Right. But I still don't know how can you build a business for acquisition. I still don't know. At least I don't know. Maybe I'm not that smart. Right? Because if you target कि say मेरे को कल LinkedIn को ही sell करना है तो LinkedIn खरीदने के भी तो mood में होना चाहिए. Acquisition is a buyer's game. 9 out of 10, let me say 99 out of 100 times, it is the buyer's game. Right. So you need a lot of things to fall into place which you don't control at all.
Right.
for that acquisition to happen.
Right.
I have friends, I have people who have done got part of fantastic acquisitions, but it was just the roll of a dice. They had somebody who really wanted them and they was ready to pay a good price for that.
Right.
But if that person did not exist, I don't think they had a plan B.
Right.
And it just happened that there was somebody who had an interest like that, right? So I at least don't know what it is about building a business for acquisition, because you are just betting that there will be somebody who, or you already have identified somebody who will have a need to build to buy a business like this, and they will be happy to take over and do stuff. I don't know, maybe not. And the second part is, in acquisition, unless you have more than one interested parties, you're not going to get a great price.
हाँ, because वो auction type कुछ होना चाहिए ना
कुछ
कि
भी उनको-
compare करने
हाँ,
को offer.
हाँ, वो डिमांड और सप्लाई में तो डिमांड तो एक ही बंदा है अगर आपका, so then that person knows that you will sell for whatever minimum price that this person is ready to offer.
Got it. हाँ, I think कई बार लोग ये भी उसमें लॉजिक देते हैं कि यार उस कंपनी में ये प्रोडक्ट गैप है, अगर मैं ये गैप बिल्ड करके स्केल कर देता हूँ, मे बी दे विल कम एंड एक्वायर मी. बट आई थिंक
do they realize कि उनके वो गैप है?
हाँ,
do they
or
think कि
even-
उनको एक्वायर करना चाहिए, अंदर बिल्ड कर लेना चाहिए?
Right. And I think one more thing that generally founders, first time founders also need to understand, या आपसे थोड़े अगर insight मिल पाए, कि when you should scale up your hiring, तो इनिशियल अगर आप स्टार्ट कर रहे हो बिल्ड करना, तो कितनी छोटी टीम होनी चाहिए, और व्हेन यू शुड थिंक अबाउट कि अब थोड़ी सी बड़ी टीम, या मेरे को कुछ अपना काम अब मिटिगेट कर देना चाहिए दूसरे लोगों को.
यार इसमें मेरा पर्सनल व्यू ये है कि यू शुड ऑलवेज बी लीनर देन यू थिंक you need right now. A very big problem that businesses have, especially funded businesses, once they get a funding, is that चलो अब टीम बनाते हैं, let's build the team for tomorrow.
वो डेक में भी रहता है कि 20% will go into hiring cost.
हाँ, वो ठीक है, and nobody minds. Investors definitely don't mind that, right? But the problem is, आप जब कहते हो तो typically होता ये है कि okay, now we are growing, there is a department, we need to hire one person. The founder will say, oh, but I think we will be growing 50% in next 3 months, 6 months. So why do you hire one person? Why don't you hire 3 people?
Oh,
right. And you hire 3 people and we'll look at that. And suddenly you start, putting people in positions which they are not fully trained for, right? So somebody who was a great individual performer at some point of time, you said, oh, you were a great individual performer, now I'm giving you 3 people. So suddenly he's becoming a manager without knowing if this person is a great manager. He was a great IC, but is this person a great manager? Maybe, maybe not. Everything is moving so fast. The nature of the organization is changing, and suddenly you see bloated up companies. Right. And bloated up like how? And to a point where you stop finding people for work, you start finding work for people.
And that is a dicey situation too.
That is a death knell.
Right.
In my view, that's a death knell. So Amazon, for that matter, has a policy that they will always hire less than what the people want. Right. So somebody, a close friend working for Amazon, said you used to cry till we didn't start crying. We did not get new people. And I fully appreciate why that was done. Because if you keep the team small, you will be focused. You will not take unnecessary initiatives just because you have people to take on those initiatives. So it will force you to become more focused. You will also create more growth opportunities for people internally. Right. Because suddenly if you have X job and you hire, and it was done by 2 people and you hire 3 more, now it's not that the X is going to become 3X overnight. Right. And suddenly everybody's role is diminished. Right. So you will have more time for politics. You will have more time for water cooler gossips. Right. For all those challenges that you have in large organizations, they immediately, you'll see a lot of that happening. I definitely noticed it immediately after my fundraisers multiple times. Right. So that kal tak to sab theek the. Aaj kya hoga? Aaj suddenly everybody has a problem with the other person. Right. They are doing this, they are doing that.
And what is your take on this 70R, जो बहुत ही ट्रेंडिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन है, लाइक भावेश वाज सेइंग कि हमें लूनर कैलेंडर फॉलो करना चाहिए, सैटरडे संडे भी वर्किंग हो सकते हैं, देन मिस्टर मूर्ति सेड 70 hour week. What is your take on it?
It's a very, very polarizing topic. See, I think it's a personal choice.
Right.
It's a personal choice for everyone, right? But it also brings in consequences that you must own.
Right.
So if you are doing a 70-hour work week or a 80-90-hour work week, you know you're compromising on other things in your life. Right? Own up to that. Right? But if you want a 40-hour work week, right, you will not get promoted.
Right.
Own up to that.
Right.
You can't say I'm entitled to promotion, but I'll only work 40 hours.
Right. Especially if you're in an organization where this type of
or you
culture
go and find an organization which supports this.
Right.
So वो देखो वो organization में वो होता है बॉस मैं स्टार्टअप हूँ यार, मैं नहीं दे सकता, अगर वो उसमें होता है तो जाओ वहाँ पे चले जाओ. Very politically incorrect thing to say.
Right.
वैसे अगर वहाँ पे है तो चले जाओ यार.
Because यहाँ पे risk is to reward भी काफी है
क्या देखो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. Risk is to reward भी है, but now not every company, for example, not every company can pay like Google.
Right.
Not every company can have the perks of a Google.
Right.
Or a Facebook or whatever company that you have in mind. नहीं है. मैं यही हूँ. ठीक है, और आपको अगर Google जाना है तो आप जाओ. मैं यही ऑफर कर रहा हूँ. I am the founder. I am offering this. If you don't like it, it's okay. It's a personal choice. Again, which is where I am saying it's a personal choice and own up to your choices. There are consequences to it which you will have to own.
हाँ, but if you're upfront about it, आपने पहले से ही बता के रखा है, लोगों की expectation सही set कर रखी है before they are joining, and I think it's a good way to deal with this issue.
I think on that front there are challenges on both sides.
Right.
So some people say, okay, मेरा work life balance का क्या हुआ? मैंने कहा यार अगर work life balance है तो इधर मत आओ. But that is considered as a very politically incorrect thing to say. कि यार यहाँ मत आओ, work life balance चाहिए. तो कहते तुम कैसे कह सकते हो? तुम लोगों को exploit कर रहे हो.
Right.
Boss, I don't know.
I'll move to the last question, and can you talk us through your latest venture, which is Bharat Founder School, what you are doing currently, and if somebody is watching this podcast is a first-time founder, how they can engage with you?
See, at a very fundamental level, what we are doing with Bharat Founder School is to, teaching founders some of the critical skills that nobody teaches them.
Got it.
Right? School definitely does not. For that matter, the ecosystem also doesn't teach them. Right? So if you're coming from, you've been a builder, you have worked places, right? But say, for example, one very common gap that we see is people don't know how to build narrative about their business.
Right.
How to do storytelling. Right. So there are fantastic founders getting into great spaces with deep insights, with an experience of building businesses. All of that is right. They don't know how to really put that thing in the right narrative. Right. So that is one thing that we help founders with.
Okay.
Right. So we have been working with certain set of companies in 2024 itself. We have 5 companies which have raised capital after founders having learned how to do that, right? Now we are also launching some courses around it, because I also realized that say working at a deeper level, at a consulting level, is something that is not very conducive, and it's slightly expensive for some.
Right.
There are, of course, other structures of equity, but then that also means that we get to choose whom we are betting on. For a broader level, we are now launching a course on learning how to put up your narrative, how to deal with investors, how to communicate, what are the right techniques to reach out to them, just how to even frame a. So
there will be a flavor of offline plus online also. If they do the course, they get to interact with you also.
So it will be an online course.
Okay.
Yes, it will have an interaction model as well, right? So it will be taken up by me. So it will have interactions. It will have Q&As and everything. but not really an offline experience. We probably will go there someday, maybe weekend in Goa. That's how,
Founders
amazing how the
retreat,
team
yeah.
has been thinking, right?
Right.
ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे. Let's focus on the need first.
Right.
All the fancy stuff can wait, but the need is that founders really need to understand what to do this, right? How can we open up the right kind of give them the right kind of networks to them, right? Teach them how to explore their own networks. Most people don't even properly exploit 30% of their own network.
Right.
They don't realize कि वो क्या क्या कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, like you come from ISB, अगर कोई ISB का network की tap कर ले तो I think they will be in a
आप ISB का network tap कर सकते. एक और example देता हूँ मैं. आप अपने लोगों के founders जो आपके दोस्त हैं, उनको टैप कीजिए,
right?
और उनसे बोलिए कि वो अपने investors को suggest करेंगे. The single most serious recommendation piece for most investors is their existing portfolio founders.
हाँ, if they recommend.
What's stopping you to exploit that?
Right. Kind of referral only कि किसी ने.
Referral, right? So ये होता है, you just have to do it.
Right.
And that is what we teach, at a deeper level. And that is the piece we want to build today. Right?
Is there any sector focus also or sector agnostic?
Right now we are sector agnostic.
And what is the time commitment that anybody would be giving?
So there is different level of engagements, right? So for courses, we are coming up with a 6-week course. That's the time where we will be able, the hope is that we will be able to deliver as much of value that we
goodness
can,
possible, yeah.
Right? But there is this, we obviously keep talking about ourselves on LinkedIn, YouTube through content. But the third piece, which is a little deeper engagement, is where we take bets on startups with kind of at places where we make our own equity commitments as well. But those are far and few at an annual level. We can't do that with every startup.
Thank you so much, Anshul, for taking out time, and full power to you with your new initiative, and wishing you all the luck.
Thank you very much.
I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Please let me know in the comment section आप किस guest को चाहते हैं जिन्हें हम platform पे बुलाएं और उनके साथ अपना next podcast करें. Share this video with others and follow me for more such content.